Hello traders. So today I really want us to practice part 3 concept. One thing I like about part 3 concept is the precision. The trading model is very precise in its delivery, and I really love that. I like trading part 3 concept because this is the only London season model that I use in trading forex. So power tree concept, why it is called power of tree concept is that it is made up of three things. It is made up of accumulation stage, manipulation, then distribution, right? I don't know, maybe my manipulation stage is too steep. So this is basically power tree concept. You have a manipulation stage, accumulation stage, and then distribution stage, right? So this is how it looks like. Price will accumulate to build orders, right? You have your manipulation stage like this. You have your manipulation, then price will not distribute. And in bullish scenario, that was bearish, the one I just gave the example. So in bullish scenario, you have manipulation this way, then accumulation, distribution this way. So one important thing you need to pay attention to it is that if you are trading power tree concept, on the left side of the market likely have something like this, maybe something like this, right, perfect. So before price will now enter manipulation stage most of the time, and you likely have a fair value gap here like this above the market price, and order block here, right? So when you're anticipating power tree concept, you anticipate price to trade into the order block or the fair value gap that is above the market price before it distributes, right? So how I usually trade power tree concept, I make sure that the higher time frame aligns with the direction I want to trade to. For instance, if I'm trading in a bearish scenario or in a bearish condition, I want the manipulation stage bullish, then distribution bearish, because I will always want to trade in the direction of the higher time frame. So you likely have a bearish scenario on the higher time frame like this. But you trade it, power tree concept can be traded on any time frame that you want. Also, that is another important information that you need to know. You can trade it on any time frame. It's just that you have to be sure of the direction of the market at a time. Your directional bias need to be accurate for you to be able to trade power tree concept perfectly, right? So another thing you have to keep it in your mind is that if you are trading power tree concept on intraday basis, which means you have to use your daily range. You have to make use of your daily range. If you are using, if you are trading with short-term trading, you make use of your weekly range. And also, if you are trading power tree concept intraday also, what you take note of is 12 a.m. Or midnight New York time, right? Midnight New York time. That is what you actually emphasize more on, because one of the confluences that in a bearish scenario you want to sell above the midnight New York time, and in a bullish scenario you want to buy below the midnight New York time. An ideal sell is to sell at or above the midnight New York time, and also ideal buy is below or at the midnight New York time, right? That is for intraday. But if you're doing short-term trading, as I've told you, you have to notice your weekly range, and also uh, what you lay more emphasis on is your Sunday opening price, right? The market opening price on Sunday. You take note of that if you're doing short-term trading. And there are also some brokers that doesn't open Sunday. They open Monday. So make sure that the opening price for the week you have to take note of. An ideal buy for the short-term trading using power tree concept should be below or at mid at the weekly opening price, and also an ideal sell should be above or at the weekly opening price, right? So that's that for that. So let us go back to power tree concepts. I'll be giving you example of the intraday power tree concept, because that's what I like to trade most of the time. So what you take note of it, as I've told you, is the 12 a.m., which is midnight opening time. You take note of that, and make sure that if you are in a bearish scenario, the price will sorry the price will accumulate and then manipulate above the midnight opening time and then distribute. So anything below the midnight opening price time, midnight opening time, that is 0 GMT, you continue selling in a bearish condition, knowing fully that your directional bias is bearish. So now, these are the things you look out for when you are trading power tree concepts. Number one, Asian range. An ideal day for trading power tree concepts is when there is accumulation or consolidation of price during the Asian range. And the Asian range usually starts by 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On an ideal day that you have power tree concept, you have to see accumulation of price between that time. from 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you anticipate price from 12 a.m. to enter into manipulation stage. The manipulation stage should occur at or from 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And from what I've observed, from that 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you should have gotten an entry that is above an entry above the market midnight opening time. Above the 0 GMT, you should have gotten an entry. If by 2 a.m. there was no manipulation, right? There's another scenario called delayed protraction. Delayed protraction, when you did not achieve that power tree concept accumulation and manipulation of price by 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you should expect price to enter into delayed manipulation. And most of the time, the delayed manipulation may not really give you manipulation above the market, above the 0 GMT. You may see price continue its movement downward because you are in a bearish condition. So once price started moving downward, right, the retracement that you get after the 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is the manipulation stage. So that is when you're going to enter your trade, right? So in a delay manipulation, you will likely have something like this. In a bearish scenario without the manipulation stage. So this should be regarded as your manipulation. This should be regarded as your manipulation. Then the retracement here. This is where you have your entry, right? This is where you enter the trade, right? So this is all about power tree concept. And also, if by 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time there was no manipulation price, there was no manipulation in the market, you shouldn't consider trading power tree concept, because most of the power tree concept trade I've taken, most of my entry usually is between 2 a.m. to 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, and then highest 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once it is 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I don't really bother looking for power tree concept again. So guys, having said that, let us look at how it is here. As you can see, I like to start my analysis on the daily time frame. I like to start my analysis on the daily time frame. Smart money trader. I drew this trend line to just make sure that we are bearish, right? We are bearish, so we don't even in the retail world we are bearish, institutionally we are bearish. So knowing that we are bearish, uh, now let us try to analyze it institutionally. That's according to smart money concept, right? We have price moving down, we have a good expansion, consolidation, we have price expanded into this order block, right? The order block is valid, is having a fair value gap, and then we have a swift expansion here, right? Price expanded downward. Let me zoom it so that you'll be able to see it. Let me zoom this very well so that you'll be able to see it. And also, after the swift expansion that we had here, we have price slightly consolidating to fill this fair value gap, right? We have price retraced into this fair value gap, right? So as soon as price retraced into this fair value gap, we know that institutionally we are ready to continue the bearish delivery of price. So it is from this that go to our 15 minutes time frame. Our 15-minute time frame to look for trade setup. As you can see, here we are in that daily fair value gap, right? Here we are in that daily fair value gap. What do we have here? Okay, we are trading the daily range, right? And we have the we have 19th September. We have the previous day low here. And then we have the previous day high here. So in my video about market structure, I said something is here on the channel that in a bearish scenario, we expect price to continually take up or continually violate the previous low, but keep respecting previous high. So in a bearish scenario, this is our previous day low and this is our previous day high. So we have our daily range here. And in a bearish scenario, we are not expecting price to take up the previous day high, right? It can take up intermediate day high, but not the previous day high, right? So you can see this is intermediate day high, your intermediate high. So, and it's still the previous day, but this is the overall high. So the daily range is from here to here, right? So here we are. We're going to mark first of all we're going to mark our midnight New York time, that is 0 GMT. We have our 0 GMT marked here, as you can see, right? And where exactly is our 0 GMT. Mark it because in a bearish scenario, if you are marking your zero GMT in a bearish, if it is a bearish candle that you marked as your zero GMT, you are going to mark the high of the bearish candle. But if it is a bullish candle, you are going to mark the low of the, that is the opening price. That is what you mark. I don't like using the wick. I prefer using the body while marking the midnight New York time. It is the zero GMT. So I will keep my zero GMT labeled. Now I'm preparing myself for the trade. Prior to this move, right? I don't want a replay button, so I want you guys to notice what I'm doing. So this is it. We have our zero GMT marked, and let us see now from now we have from zero GMT, right? We have from 8. I told you the New York, the Asian range is from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. While my accumulation stage for power tree concept, I would like to start determining it from 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I don't usually take note of it from 2 p.m. right? I make use of 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I would like to see accumulation of price from that 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? You know, I believe no matter what you've been taught, from what you observe in the market, you should be able to have your own objective. So me, I prefer using 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 0 GMT. I would love to see consolidation within that time frame. So this is our this is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a good retracement here, and price started consolidating at exactly 10 p.m. So we have price accumulating orders from here. From this 10 p.m. we have price accumulating orders. We have price accumulating orders, as you can see here. Let's change this thing, right? And we have price like broke market structure here, and it now move to break the opposing market structure on the 50 minutes also. So at this point I was fair enough, and I thought price will break the market structure and continue bearish, but and also a very nice displacement here up again. I said, wow. So this is basically the manipulation stage of price. Price gave a nice move here, and as you can see, as I've told you earlier, that you should take note of the opposing PDRA if you want to trade power tree concept. This is fair value gap above the midnight opening price. Above the 0 GMT, you have fair value gap, right? Let us label it fair value gap, right? You can call it imbalance too. We have our fair value gap, then price will traces into this fair value gap and give a very nice displacement downward. So your ideal entry should be here. Yes, ideal entry is here in this fair value, the low of this fair value gap, or consequent encroachments, that is the 50% of the fair value gap. Now stop loss above this high. But if sometimes I don't want to enter here, when I started trading power tree concept, I was scared to enter at this point. So what I usually do is I'll wait for price to break the market structure and give me second entry. It will always give second entry in most scenarios. It's not always, but in most scenarios you have a second entry. But now I'm comfortable entering here. One thing you need to know is that for you to trade this thing very well, you have to pay attention to your higher time frame. That is, especially if you're trading the intraday power tree concept, you have to pay attention to your daily time frame and make sure that you determine the direction of the daily time frame before you think of trading power tree concept, or else you always have price going towards your stop loss. But once your daily time frame analysis is accurate, you most likely enjoy trading power tree concept, even though anything can happen, right? Sometimes it may be right on the daily time frame, but you end up losing the trade. It's normal if you follow your plan and your edge, but you still end up losing it. It's way too good. But in most of the time, power tree concept, out of 10 trades, if your higher time frame analysis is accurate, out of 10 trades, you most likely have 7 to 8 trades that will move in your direction, right? So sometimes if the manipulation stage is way too far, you have to use this as your you have to use the central bank pillars range method to measure the extent your manipulation can go, right? But that's the topic for another day. Don't want to bring anything about central bank pillars range in this topic. So as I've told you, if you did not get the first entry, you most likely have a second entry after breaking the opposing market structure in the direction in which you're trading the power tree concept, and you should be comfortable entering it. Whenever I'm trading power tree concept, I usually enter the first entry. After entering the first entry, and I'll still add up the position on the second entry. As you can see, after breaking this structure, after breaking market structure here, we have a nice retracement into this value, right? This is our second entry. This is our second entry. So you can see the second entry occurred at exactly 5:30. 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, right? So this is all for this part 3 concept. There are a lot of entries where you can still enter. You can define it on your lower time frame. So let us look at another scenario also that occurred. This trade was on 20th September 2022. I think there's another trade I took that is based on our 3 concept too. Right? So the first thing is also said is your daily range. So this trade was on 23rd. You have a very tight daily range here. You have the high, the low of the previous day, and then the high of the previous day here. Still 22. This is it. For intraday trade, if we are bearish, what did we say? We are expecting price to violate the previous day low and respect the previous day high. Right? So what will be our next step is to mark our 0 GMT. This is our 0 GMT. We mark it again, it's bearish, so we mark the 0 GMT and label it. Label it as 0 0 0. Right? What do? We look at our price from which time frame? Still, we have from 8 p.m. we have a expansion here. Then we have retracement into 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Did you see a likelihood of similarities between it and the last one? The example we just gave, that one we started seeing price accumulating by by 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here we have 10:30. We have price accumulating a little expansion, then it continue accumulating. Then from 1 a.m. we saw a little expansion, a bearish candle. Then we have a very good expansion into this fair value gap, right? Into this fair value gap. That is the opposing fair value gap, right? So we have a fair value gap. We have accumulation stage here, right? We have manipulation into the fair value gap, and then a nice displacement. So this is what is regarded as 3 concepts. tree concept. Let me bold it so that you see it. Power tree concept is made up of three things: manipulation, accumulation, manipulation, then distribution. If you notice something here, unlike the one I just gave the example previously, price didn't give second entry here. Maybe on the lower time frame, let us see on the 5 minutes, there was no second entry, right? There was no second entry here. As I've told you, most of the time you will get second entry, but not all the time. And some of the times also, price, if you know that you are trading per tree concept, price doesn't have to break the opposing market structure for you to start looking for second entry. I was targeting this fair value gap for second entry. This fair value gap, I was targeting it for my second entry. If only price retrace into this fair value gap from here, I would have entered. But another thing you need to know is that if you know that your analysis is correct, you can enter even without fair value gap. Why we usually wait for price to retrace into it is for us to actually manage our trade so that our stop loss will not be that wide. I know that if I enter maybe here, I'll have to put my stop loss here, but I feel sometimes that it is not protected. What if price still come to the price into this fair value gap? It would have pulled me out before it continue moving in my direction. That is why normally I don't like entry when price has already moved on. But I know the first entry I got here, my fair value, my stop loss is well protected above this high. And also, if I should enter here and put my stop loss here, what if the price they choose to go for my stop loss and it's too wide? My risk will be much, right? So some of the times we miss some of the trade not because the trade is wrong, but because we are risking much on the trade. And also you should know that is probability. No matter how accurate your analysis may be, sometimes the price may choose not to respect that and maybe move opposite your direction. So you have to take your loss and come back next time. That is why Mark Douglas said that uh, every trade is unique on its own. So your winning trade now will not be your next winning trade, even though with the same setup, with the same time frame, with the same condition and everything. So guys, let me know if you really like this. If you like it, comment in the comment section below, and don't forget to click the subscription button and turn on the notification so that you will get notified whenever I'm uploading new content. Thank you. Wish you good luck and good trading.